Hi, I'm Chris from Penrose Outdoors in Truro. Today we're going to be doing a little video about pole repair. Unfortunately, fiberglass poles being a little bit brittle in strong winds or being put up incorrectly, they can break. And so what we're going to do, we're going to go through the stages of repair, how you can repair them and the easiest way to repair them. So I've got in front of me a broken pole and the bits and pieces that we might use to repair the pole. So firstly, you're going to need a hacksaw, some sort of file or sandpaper once you've cut the pole down to length. If you're out in the field and you want to use a sort of utility knife or a multi-tool, then you could use one of these. This one's got a saw and a knife on it, so you could use that for cutting up the pole, cutting the shock cord. You're going to need obviously a spare pole or a pole repair kit with shock cord in it, or you can buy that separately depending whether your shock cord snapped. You can always use the same one. Okay, so stage one, lay the pole out in front of you, find where the broken pole is. So you'll see with this one, it's actually broken here. This is quite a common split in fiberglass poles where it just splits down the middle. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the closest end or the end that's easiest to thread from. I always find it easiest to thread back through the end without a ferrule on, because if you try and thread through the ferrule, it's really difficult to find it. So in this case, it actually is the shortest end because the ferrule is going that way and you're going to want to thread back through this way. So we're going to undo the knot at this end. So find the shock cord knot, undo the knot. You don't want to thread all the shock cord out, you only need to thread it as far as the pole is broken. So in this case we just need to hold on to it there and just take off this pole here, take that one out and just lay it down so that they're in order. So obviously you don't want to lose the order of the poles. They are specifically made so that some of them have pre-angled bits on it, so you want to keep them in the same order. Okay, so once you've taken the pole off, you need to establish the diameter of the pole. So they come in different thicknesses. So you've got 7.9mm, 8.5mm, 9.5mm, 11mm and 12.7mm generally. They're sort of the standard sizes that tent manufacturers work from. So in this case, this is an 11mm pole. So we've got an 11mm repair kit here. You can obviously get the different sizes. So we're going to get an 11mm pole out of the repair kit, spare pole, and you'll immediately notice that these are slightly longer. So this takes into account all of the different sizes of tents. So you might have a 6-man tent with a super big sort of porch area or something that needs a longer pole, whereas with this one it's slightly shorter. So you do need to cut that down. That's why we need the hacksaw or your multi-tool. So you're going to put this in a vise, measure it up. You can either put them side by side or mark it, up to you. I'd always suggest putting some cloth or something around it so that you don't splinter the pole when you're cutting it. So pop it in the vise, cut it to size, and then it's ready to go into the section. So you've got your sections laid out on the floor. Now you're going to need to thread it back through. So sometimes you can, in pole repair kits, get these little metal feeders, which will help. So with these ones, you literally just sort of pop that through. Now you don't need this, it's only sort of a little bit of an extra helping hand. You can thread it, especially when you're threading through from the non-ferrule end. It's pretty easy anyway, it just takes a little bit longer. But you can use this, thread that through, pop the end of the elastic onto it. It's got a little sharp end. Pop that on there, and then you can just pull that all the way through. Like so. So it's a bit quicker than just threading it through. So then obviously you're going to take it back to how it was. So you've got the other pole that we've taken off and we've left in the right place. With this one I'm just going to show you without the use of the metal section. So we'll just thread it straight through. With the shock cord, if you have broken the shock cord, I'd always suggest just making it to length. Sort of, if you've got a 3-meter length pole, just make it a 3-meter shock cord, and then you can just sort of thread through. And the elastic will need to be in a stretched sort of position when it's in the to give it this resistance when you're sort of putting it down. Cut that down. Okay. So now you've got it all together, you will just need to stretch out the poles. You'll see if you just left it like that, there wouldn't be any sort of strength in the pole. So you just need to strengthen it out until it's fairly tight, or if you want you can just test it, check the pole just slots back in, or maybe make it a bit tighter than that. And then you're going to do a knot, however you want to do the knot in the end. I'd find a loop That's pretty good. Make sure the knot doesn't go back through and down. It needs to be a fairly wide knot, so that's a fairly good knot for it. And then you'll see that you've got sort of tension that it just clips back into it. And then that should then just fold back, and then you might just want to trim the end of the elastic off with your knife, or if you've got a hot knife, even better, because it will seal the end. And that is our pole repair. Thanks again for watching one of our YouTube videos. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you want to have a look at any more sort of descriptions or anything on any of pole repair, we do actually have a guide written down, so if you want to take that away with you, and you obviously can't take your video away, you can read our pretty sort of idiot's guide to a pole repair. But thanks again for watching, and have a great day.